Yo, what's going on guys, it's your boy Rascal100. In today's class we'll be getting into how to find your role, so you better be listening right now guys. Put your phone away, no distractions, you better take notes, because if you're one of those players that still plays Ash and Jaeger 24/7, you better listen to this video, because I'm angry at you. I'm only joking. This video here is to help you guys find what role you need to be playing, from your support to your fragger to your flex. Right, starting off with support. Support is incredibly important, so if you're more of a passive player, support will be your role. But you might be wondering, what is support? So support is your hard breachers on attack especially. So you got your Thermites, your Hibanas, your Kallis as well. I'll get into that a little bit more. Those kind of characters that you crucially don't want to die with. Guys, if you are spawning in on attack and someone even says they're spawn peekers, or you get the sense they might be spawn peeking, please just drone it or get your teammates to check it. If you die with Thermites and you're the only hard breacher, your round could be lost just from you. That's why it's a lot of pressure. However, it's a very satisfying role if you guys are good with it. It's really important for you guys to communicate with your teammates, but again, I know a lot of you be saying, well, I'm solo queue, etc. You can still play them, it just requires a little bit more droning, a little bit more, I don't know, praying, let's say, that they are helping you correctly, because it's really hard to open a wall by yourself when you're Thermite, when they've got a bandit or a mute or those kind of things. You do need your teammates. So if you're the kind of more passive player and don't like to be the one to make entry frags or want to be aggressive, support will be your role. However, support on defense isn't just sitting in a corner and just holding one angle for the whole round. Your supports are your mute, your smokes, your echoes, your maestros, those kind of characters. It's very important for you to not spawn peek, I'd say, unless you're feeling incredibly confident. But if you're smoke and you spawn peek, which I don't think you should do ever, by the way, but let's say you're feeling nutty and you die with those 3 smoke canisters in your pocket, you're basically wasting your time with smoke. You might as well go on a rook or something like that and go for a spawn peek. Then at least you've got armor down or a cap can, you got your traps down. At least you'll have something on the board if you want to risk it for a spawn peek. I hate seeing those kind of characters do spawn peek. Smoke is designed for the last minute, 30 seconds of the round, to stop them being able to plant and also deny entry without taking damage, those kind of things. Same with your echo and your maestros. You want to be alive to be able to use them, etc, etc. So takeaway from this is don't spawn peek, don't swing everything also on defense. Also attack, technically you don't want to swing everything, even though that is kind of the meta. You kind of want to play passive but not too passive. I know you think, wow Rasky, you're not really helping me here, but yes, it's kind of a hard one because you are designed to be a support, so you don't want to be the first player, but sometimes you need to be. But it's kind of like, you just gotta like fill the room out, you know what I mean? It's really important for you guys to just take it slow, drone effectively on defense, hold angle, swing when it's needed. Controlled aggression is the big thing here. You don't want to be that guy who's swinging everything on defense and dying. You want to be alive. You also don't want to be too far back. It's quite a hard role. If you're really good at support, you'll win your teammates many games. You do your rotates, you do your reinforcements correctly. You guys can go from silver to platinum just from being a good mute / smoke on defense. That's a fact. The shotgun SMG11 combo is a god combo on defense, and also when you're a good Hibana, Thermite, those have won me rounds in Diamond Elo before. So it's a great role to learn. I'm still trying to learn support in and out on attack. I'm good on defense support. Attack I'm still struggling with a little bit. I don't have the patience. You need very good patience on support on defense. Right guys, you better have made all notes of that. I'm going to test you in the comments. No, I'm only joking. I hope that you guys are enjoying this video. We're going to move on to Fragger right now. Fragger is, I think, the most common role in Seed, because people come from CSGO or Call of Duty or even Fortnite, I would say, and those are the kind of very aggressive, constant gun battle kind of games. So if you come to Siege, you might not have the patience or want to learn your support or your flex kind of roles, so you just hop on Fragger. And your Fraggers are obviously your Ash, your Twitch, your IQ. On defenses, Jaeger, Bandit, Oryx. In my opinion, those are the kind of 3 main at the moment as of time of recording this video. So good guns, fast, normally are 3 speed or 2 speed, depending. That's the most important thing about being a fragger. My best advice I can give you for a fragger role, because I do play fragger sometimes, but I prefer flex, which I'll get to later, is that you got to be very aggressive, but not too aggressive. I see your Ash mains just destroying the barricade, running straight in, not checking any corners, just running in like a head, like a ball that sees the red little flag that's going straight for it, and you die. Like, oh my god, why am I dying? Blah, blah, blah. That's not how you play your fragger. Your fraggers, you want to drone, you want to check your corners, get your teammates to help you, and you want to be controlled aggressive, but you do want to be the first one normally into the site, or at least the first one making noise. I don't think people realize as a fragger, if you make a lot of noise, a lot of chaos, I think people, the biggest thing I see on high elo that I struggle with as a team is when we get a lot of chaos going on defense. Like, there's one guy coming from behind, there's one guy above making holes in the floor, the main breach is being open. It's like, where do you go? What do I look at? Those are the times as a fragger that you don't even need to get a kill. But if you create a lot of noise and a lot of aggro to the defense, it can also really help. And sometimes, again, that's the only thing that sucks with Siege. It's about cost at the end of the day. It's like cost effectiveness, how useful you are to that round. It doesn't always need to be kills, but obviously as a fragger, that is the main goal. So you want to be getting those entries, you want to be confident, but not too confident in terms of just swinging everything. You want to put pressure on the side. You don't always need to spawn pick on defense. That's a key thing people don't realize when you're an entry fragger on defense. You don't need to be the one spawn picking every round. You want to be unpredictable. You want to move. That's the key thing I said in my last video a couple of weeks ago about positioning and showing you clips where I got aces, 1v3s, 1v4s. It's about positioning. It's about switching up your angles as much as you can. So if you just killed one on yellow stairs, rotate back around all the way back to spiral on concert as an example. Those kind of things. You want to be constantly moving, and if you are staying on site, you want to be changing up your angles ever so slightly, so you're holding different angles, because that's the hardest thing on Siege, is knowing what angle they're holding and how they're going to swing you, those kind of things. And now we're moving on to flex. Flex is probably my favorite position in Siege. I'd probably say I'd play flex the most. It's the most fun, but being a flex also means you can play fragger and support like the rest of them, but I think flex is the most fun. Flex obviously means flexible, if you guys don't know that. It's a wide range of playstyle. You watch flanks, you play vertical, you watch your support players in terms of like, you watch them to cover them when they're doing their own like hard breaching or those kind of things when Thermite obviously not available to shoot people, and you're obviously behind your fraggers to follow your fraggers in to clean up the round necessarily. Maybe they don't kill one, you're there to retrade them, those kind of things. That's a flex in my books. Flex is not as important as a support your life, but it's incredibly important if you haven't used your ability. So I'll just use Gridlock and Nomad as an example. If you die without having 3 Nomads on the board or throwing a couple of Gridlock track stingers on the floor, you're basically not useless, but you haven't provided much of the round. So if you are behind your support or fragger, putting your air jabs down, droning for them, those kind of things, if you've done that, then you're already providing a lot of value to your team. Then with those gadgets there, that also, just having a Nomad on a doorway, just the sound of it makes defenders scared to, oh, I know there's a Nomad on the door, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot more than people realize it does in a normal round of Siege. So what I'm trying to say is you don't want to die straight away, but if it is, it's not the end of the world, but I would try to get your abilities on the board somehow before you die. On defense, this is a wider range than on attack for me flex. Defense, you can do crazy stuff on flex. You can play Mute as a flex with the right guns. You've got SMG-11, great one, obviously. You can play Alibi, your Thunderbird, your Oryx is not quite, but there's a lot of carries that can fit into this flex. Flex is the most insane role to put in a couple sentences on how to play it. It's the most fun, it's the most free, but it's also got some rules that I'm explaining now. With those operators like an Alibi, a Thunderbird, a Mute, you can do a different variation of things, which makes Siege the most interesting for me. You can roam, you can spawn peek, you can anchor, you can do everything. The most important thing for me for flex is that you feel it on the round. So if you feel like, oh, there hasn't been a spawn peek in a minute, or they weren't expected to do it. If you feel like, oh, we're really struggling on the anchors, I need to play an Alibi on site, then do that. Or you maybe go for a spawn peek, there isn't anyone there, so you drop back to site. There's so many different things you can do. Basically, for me, fragger and support combined. That's how I'd break it down. So if you're not sure where your position on Sieges, I'd say go with flex at the moment. If you're starting in the game, I say go support. I say if you're in the middle of the game, go flex. And if you're really feeling yourself, you're a confident player, go fragger. That's my 3 little tips for you guys as of right now. I'll give you a little bit more tips to do with these 3 roles to do with solo queue and not. So I think if you're solo queue, I think you heavily play either one or the other. I wouldn't personally play flex is okay on solo queue, but I wouldn't really play it. I would still go with your Valks, your support heavy operators. I feel like there is not enough mute/smoke players on solo queue. Also, I don't think there's enough entry denial, those kind of things. Personally, I wouldn't be the fragger on solo queue either. On attack, I'd be the flex/support again. You say why? Everyone I solo queue with is either the guy that wants to run into site in 10 seconds or is a really passive support player. So I think you got to be one or the other depending on the round. I know it's not very helpful, but I can't decide every single solo game for you. I also think my biggest takeaway from this video is don't just be one. You can have your favorite, like I'm a flex player, for example. You can have your favorite, you can be a support player or fragger, but don't just stick into your role. Go try and be a fragger sometimes. Go try to be a support. It will improve your game on the other roles as well. It'll improve you as a flex player or improve you as another role. I think people are way too stuck in their roles. You're stuck as an Ash, Jaeger main, whatever. They can be your favorite characters, but I don't think you should stay with them. There's so many operators in this game. So many are good right now. Like I've made videos on my channel, there's only about 4 or 5 that are really bad on this game, so why not play the 20 or 30 operators on each side? They're so fun, play them. Please leave some comments down below if you need any more advice or any help. I'll respond to every comment. Let me know anything you need. I will let you know down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video, and much love. I hope you enjoy Rasco's class today.